The bus is 2 minutes away. You already know this because you checked. Then you check again, thumb moving before the thought even forms. Messages, then mail, then the home screen, then messages again. You do the same thing in the lift, at the table, between bites, while someone across from you is still mid-sentence. 40 seconds have passed. You have not had an unoccupied thought in days. For 300,000 years, your ancestors had nothing else to fill that gap with. No screen, no scroll, just unfilled time, sitting there, demanding something from them. And the question almost nobody asks is, what was that unfilled time actually for? We treat boredom like a malfunction, a glitch to patch before it spreads. The instinct didn't start with smartphones, it just got monetized by them. The popular assumption is that boredom is dead time, wasted, empty, a problem evolution forgot to solve. But in 2012, a team of psychologists at the University of California, Santa Barbara, ran an experiment that suggested the opposite. Boredom doesn't switch the mind off, it switches the mind to something else entirely, and that something else may have built more of human culture than anyone gives it credit for. Chapter 1. The Idle Mind. In 2012, psychologist Benjamin Baird and his colleagues at UC Santa Barbara gave participants a creative test, finding unusual uses for an everyday object, then sent them on a break. One group did nothing, one group rested, one group was given a simple repetitive matching task, dull enough to let their attention drift. That last group came back and solved the most problems, with the most original answers. The dull task hadn't rested their minds, it had switched on something neuroscientists had already spotted on brain scans years earlier. A network that lights up not when the brain is working hard, but when it has nothing demanding to do. Researchers call it the default mode network, the brain's background system for wandering, stitching together ideas that focused attention keeps locked apart. Boredom wasn't an absence of thought, it was thought running unsupervised. The idea that arrives in the shower, not at the desk. The solution that shows up on the drive home, long after you stop trying. Same mechanism, still running in you, mostly switched off. But that's just the machinery. The real question is what an ancient mind, carrying the same machinery, actually built with it. Chapter 2. The Shell Beads. In 2010, archaeologist Francesco D'Erico and his team examined a collection of shells recovered from Blombos Cave in South Africa, dated to around 75,000 years old. Each one had a hole drilled cleanly through it, in the same place, at the same angle. These weren't tools, they were beads, among the earliest known evidence of humans choosing to wear something for no survival reason at all. Nobody needed a pierced shell to hunt or to eat. What that mind apparently had was unstructured time, hours not consumed by the daily search for food, and a default network with nothing urgent to chew on. Researchers studying the beads believe they functioned as symbolic signals, status, identity, belonging, encoded onto something worn on the body for other people to read. Ornament wasn't born from necessity, it was born from a mind that ran out of urgent problems and went looking for one anyway. And that kind of idle time turns out to have been far more available than most people assume. Chapter 3. The 15-Hour Week. In 1966, anthropologist Marshall Salins published research on hunter-gatherer societies, including the Ju-Hoanzi of southern Africa, that overturned the image of prehistoric life as a desperate scramble for survival. Working hours averaged 15 to 20 a week. Field researchers who lived among them recorded long afternoons spent lying in the shade, talking, half-watching children play nearby. Hours with nothing in particular happening at all. That surplus of unfilled hours wasn't wasted time. It's where the beads got drilled, the myths got told, the songs got composed. In a hunter-gatherer's week, boredom wasn't the enemy of progress. It was the raw material progress got built from. So here's where the evidence leaves us. The same restless cognition that drilled shell beads and built ritual out of empty afternoons is still sitting in your skull, waiting for unfilled time to work with. You almost never give it any. Every gap a screen can fill gets filled: the bus stop, the waiting room, the ad break, notification badges, infinite scroll, autoplay, all engineered around a single insight that an idle mind will reach for almost anything rather than sit with itself. In 2014, psychologist Timothy Wilson and his team at the University of Virginia asked people to sit alone with nothing but their thoughts for 6 to 15 minutes. No phone, no reading, nothing. Given the option to self-administer a mild electric shock instead, 2/3 of the men and 1/4 of the women chose to shock themselves rather than keep thinking. We didn't just get distracted from boredom, we built an entire economy on making sure we'd never feel it again, and the bill for that comes due in whatever boredom used to build. Go back to the bus stop, 40 seconds, thumb already moving. Nothing is wrong with you, your brain is doing exactly what hunter-gatherers did the moment the hunting stopped, reaching for something to work on. The only difference is they had nowhere to put it but inward, and you have somewhere else to put it every single time. Every notification that pulls you out is a shell with no hole drilled through it, a bead that never got made. Boredom never slowed ancient humans down. It's the only reason they ever had anything to say. It might still be waiting on you if you ever give it the 40 seconds back.